Hi sir, welcome back to Leon's garden. It's sunny at the moment, but you know, we got very cold, freezing ice this morning. In fact, let me show you, my lawn still have ice on the lawns. Look at that, it's cold. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to overwinter Calla lily rhizome. So I'm garden in zone 9A and they are cold hardy down to zone 8. So if you live in the colder zone like 6, 7 and zone 5, you can in fact overwinter them by dig them up and store them away in the winter. Now either you can store them in unheated greenhouse or somewhere at the corner in your house or unheated garage. So that's why you can save your rhizome and you can plant them in early spring out of the frost, and when the frost over, and you can plant them in the landscape as you wish. So the reason I want to dig them up for several reasons as well, because one, I just plant them, I think, few years already, and they're getting large and they're not in good position anymore. So I want to dig them up and divide them as well. But if you live in warm area like zone 8, 9, 10, if you want to overwinter them in the ground, make sure you plant them in very good drainage position. Because if you got very poor drainage and you got so much rain, and your rhizome have more chance to get rotten. So be mindful about that. So in this area, I got quite large clump of Calla lily. You can see they are falling over. We are at the beginning of winter now. So the leaves and the clumps and just quite tired, and it's not in this a good position for it anymore, because 2 years ago I planted under this feijoa bush, and most of the summer it got shaded by this feijoa bush, so it's not good area for it anymore. So I really want to divide it. And also after 2 or 3 years you should divide your Calla lilies, because normally if you live in zone 9 or zone 8, they are quite warm and then they just multiply very quick, so it's better if you can divide them, refresh them. Okay, so the best time to dig up your Calla lilies in late autumn to early winter. Try to avoid to dig it up in the rainy day, because sometimes if you dig them up in very wet weather, and then your rhizome might got the fungal disease or may got moldy, and they make your rhizome get rotten. And so here you can see here the center of the rhizome of the bush, and I try to give some quite good space, between around 10 centimeters far away from the bush, and I just dig around it. So if any rhizome underneath this, I have more chance not to spray them or not to cut them. Now for this leaf, if you want to leave them like this and dig it up, it's fine. But I think for me it's easier, I just trim on the leaf on the top, and then it could make easier for me to dig it around. Alright, so now you can see like the whole clump much more open without the leaves, and I just use the spade and just dig them up around. Not hard at all, very easy to dig it up. Let me just check on the short off first. Alright, so here are the rhizome. You can see some of the rhizome are huge. Yeah. Very big, so I'm expecting to have a lot of bloom for me next year, and some of the rhizome a little bit smaller, and like this one, I'm sure they still produce a lot of bloom for me next year as well. Having said that, some of the variety they have much smaller rhizome though, but they still produce a bloom pretty well. So I will keep them in the carton box like this for 1 and 2 weeks, and I come back and I will clean all of the roots off and all the the leaves off. At that time, I can try to make sure I shake all of the soil off as well. The reason why I keep them in 1 and 2 weeks in this box before I store them completely away, because I just want them to have a time to let all the soil or the you can see soil and compost to completely dry out, so they have less chance to get moldy, to get rotten. And normally I have a lot of blocks that I don't need to put like anything surround it at all. But if you have like shredded paper, you can just put a layer on the top. That is fine too. But when you store them away, make sure you don't zip them up though, or don't you like what is that? What is this one I call? I don't know, suddenly I forgot, but anyway, you don't use this sticky tape to zip the box completely. Don't do that, because they do need some air, and for them to, for the air to go in, for the air to go out as well. So make sure you don't zip it up. And I just come back after 1 and 2 week time, and then I just clean up on the roots and the leaf off later. And the temperature, ideally to store them between 5 to 15 degrees Celsius. And I just try to make sure that I keep them in dry and cool and dark place, and check them every month. If I see any signs of rotten and moldy, I just use a knife and cut that bit off. Normally they heal pretty well. Now, when you just dig them up like this, you can divide them. If you wish, I highly recommend it if you can divide them, because they can have a lot of time that means to heal during the time you store them away. Now, if you watch my video how to plant or grow and dividing calla lily a few months ago, I will try to put I'll try to put the link in of that video in the description in this video, so you might want to check it out, or you want to just watch it again. And I just show you on that video like how I divide them as well, but I highly recommend it if you can divide them now, so the rhizome can have more chance to get healed. Okay, example, this rhizome. Look at that. I think I just divide them or just pin them off like this. Very easy. Off one, another one, and this one I leave it as it is. So here, let me show you. I got this lot. So this lot, I dig them up 2 weeks ago. So at that time it was kind of late autumn, and then I was just so busy. I just chuck them in this bag. And let me show you. And at that time I didn't have a chance to clean or cut them, cut all the leaves off at all. And let me show you what they look like. Okay, here you can see all the leaves still here and the roots still here, and they're just shivering down like this. And if you want, or if you have a time, or you want them to be tidied, and then you just pull them out, the roots off and the leaf off, and they can be beautiful, and the rhizome very dry and clean like this. And now you just put them in another box or in the container, or that is have some like some shredded paper, just like this. Let me show you. Okay, just like this, just lay them down here. Very bright, I hope you can see though. And let me show you another one. I got so many in here. Let me show you. Can you see that? I got so many in here. So, let me show you some other example as well. This one very big too, and you can see so many roots. Okay, so I just pull all the roots off like this, and if any soil, I just shake them off. But it's very clean. Look at that. And this one, I won't divide it as own, because you can see the very big clump like this, and just the baby just kind of like on the side here. But I just keep them like this. Look at that. Okay. So once like you clean them up like this, you don't have to clean them up anymore. And then you just check them every month. Welcome back to my backyard. If you remember, in this area I got one container on this side that's full of calla lily rhizomes that I plant them in early spring. And the other side of the garden over there, I got another container that side. So for the container like this, I'm going to kind of keep the rhizome in this container over winter this year because I noticed that I think the container is still quite large, so the rhizome still have lots of room to grow next year. So next spring, I just going to refresh, you know, the soil, spend soil on the top like this. I just take them out and then put some compost on top of that. So on this rhizome, they already went to dormant and only one of little plant left. Let me see if there any rhizome underneath it. I can show you. Here, let me show you. You can see that they already went dormant here. All the leaves just fell off. So for the overwinter this container in my area, like normally I just use some sugarcane mulch. And I just top up like very thick layer or 10 centimeter of sugarcane mulch. And make sure always when you plant your calla lily, especially you overwinter your calla lily in the container. The container they are in have very good drainage potting mix. Otherwise, if you got too much rain in the winter, and they have more likely the rhizome got rotten. Let me do on this side as well. So the other day or a while ago, I did trims or that had some of the roses and I still leave them here. Look at that. You can see I'm not always very diligent on taking care of things. Look at that. It's so thorny. I should put up here and put in the bins later. Okay, so and in this side as well, and some of them already went dormant and some still kind of looking very sad here, but don't worry, I just put the sugarcane mold on the top and to protect it. We'll have very cold weather tonight. So for the rhizomes that I leave them in the ground, normally I just put thick layer of the sugarcane mulch as well. Or if you don't have a sugarcane mulch, you can use the leaves. Like in the autumn, a lot of leaves they falling out on the trees. You can collect from your yard or from your neighbors. You can use that as well. So just thick layer and to bring them kind of very good isolation from the freezing temperature or from heavy frost as well. So I think that is for the video today, and I hope this video is helpful and you enjoy it. And thank you so much for watching, and see you next video. Bye bye.